Hey guys, it's Big Beamo What Ifs. Here to bring you part 2 of What If Deku was the son of Tatsumaki and Saitama. Now, I just finished off the sixth part of What If Luffy was overpowered. Obviously, I'm going in here blank slate, guys. I think I remember we left off when Izuku is walking home before the sludge villain attack. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure no one made any suggestions on like any ships or anything like that in the comments yet. Obviously, we've had a lot of views. I've only gotten 2 people that commented. So I mean, they didn't say anything. Now, anyways, gosh, what is it called? Now, anyways, I guess we'll get back into it. Also, sorry for the same photo. I don't really have other pictures. I will get more pictures eventually, but I don't really have too many Izuku pictures. Now, anyways, obviously Izuku, Deku, whatever you're gonna call him. Now he's on his way home. Obviously, he takes the more scenic route or a shortcut, whatever. Anyways, he takes that shortcut. Obviously, going under that bridge. Now, obviously, beforehand, All Might had been chasing this sludge villain around town. Now, obviously, he escapes into the sewers, and that's where All Might loses him. Now, obviously, Deku, only having been trained in his telekinesis, obviously not having his body trained yet, he's just walking through this one underpass, this little bridge. Now, obviously, that's when the sewer or the manhole cover obviously pops up. Now, obviously, he's startled by that, and before it lands on him, obviously he uses his telekinesis to push it over to the side, so that he's not damaged. Now, obviously, the sludge villain pops up. Obviously, he's like, I like that body. What's it called? I like that body. Give it to me, kid. So I can escape that damn All Might. Now, obviously, Izuku not having it, bro. He's big tough. He's not gonna let anybody take his body. And no Orochimaru type motherfuckers, you know. Anyways, obviously he's when the sludge villain jumps at him, he's going to actually, rather than use his telekinesis on the sludge villain, because the sludge villain is mostly liquid and stuff. Obviously he could do it, but he picks up part of the sidewalk that he's going on, like a big slab of concrete, and he basically flings it at the sludge villain, obviously pushing him back a little bit. In reality, Deku's extremely smart, so obviously, once he heard that line about All Might being chasing him, he was like, all right, I have to hold off this villain until one of the heroes gets here. Now, or a hero gets here. Obviously, at this time, he obviously only, sorry if I keep saying obviously. He only tries to hold this sludge villain back, obviously, until he gets past all this rubble, concrete, and stuff that Deku's throwing. Now, Deku, obviously knowing this is too close for comfort, would start using his telekinesis on the sludge villain to compact him a little bit. Like push him back, compact him a little bit. And this is when, obviously, All Might would show up. He wouldn't hesitate to go ahead, and rather than watching Deku try to fight off this sludge villain, he would obviously jump in and make sure Izuku's safe, rather than watching to see the capabilities or anything. I don't understand how he would just sit there and watch, unless he doesn't have power, obviously, the power to do anything. Anyways, obviously, I'm so sorry. All Might would use his Texas Smash to then punch the sludge villain into tiny little pieces, and then start bottling him up. Now, Izuku, still being a fanboy, obviously he has powers and stuff, but he was still fanboy and still be a nerd about heroes, and take down notes and stuff. He would obviously be screaming and be like, All Might, can you give me an autograph? Obviously, All Might would give him an autograph, and then be like, I have to go. Obviously, Izuku doesn't has more questions. So he would be like, wait, All Might, I have another question. I have more questions to ask you. And All Might would be like, I'm sorry, kid, no time. I have to go and bring this into the police. So Izuku, rather than in canon, he would fly using his, or pick himself up and start hovering, flying with his telekinesis, and follow All Might. Now, All Might would be startled once he turns around after he jumps. Now, like, Izuku would tell All Might, wait, All Might, I still have questions to ask you. And obviously, All Might being startled, the bottle with the sludge villain in it would fall, having moved his body too weirdly, or like too fast, startled him, and the bottle would fall. Now, Izuku wouldn't notice this because he's too focused on All Might, and All Might wouldn't notice this because he was too startled. Anyways, All Might would land and be like, what do you want to ask, kid? Obviously, Izuku would ask, do you think I can be a hero without a quirk? Now, obviously, Izuku has power. Izuku has a lot of power, but it's not a quirk, and that's what his parents told him. Now, obviously, All Might would be confused. He would be like, aren't you already using your quirk? Isn't it telekinesis? And Izuku would say, no, I do have telekinesis, but it's not a quirk. So I'm not sure, if it would be okay in hero society. It's actually just a power, like it's not, I don't know what would be the way to differentiate quirks or powers from other worlds and quirks. Like, the quirks are powers. I mean, that's the thing. How about this? Because they say it's genetic mutations, right? Okay, anyways. So, he would be like, this is actual power, not just a genetic mutation. This is something that my mom's family had even before the birth of quirks, and that she's from a different world and stuff like that. And obviously, he'd be unloading all this information that he's wanted to, like, let out, having to keep it a secret all of his life, or most of his life. Not even most, actually, just for the last 5 years of his life since he's gotten his powers. Anyways, obviously, I mean, All Might would be like, yes, of course you can, with such a powerful power, such as that. I am back. Alright, I forgot where I left off. Okay, now, now I remember. I hope everyone could hear this. I hope the audio doesn't cut out. Anyways, obviously, what's his name? What's his face? All Might would obviously run out of time. God, I keep saying it. All Might would run out of time and would turn back into his Small Might form. His Toshinori form. Anyways. Deku, being surprised, would be like, oh, you're not All Might, you're fake. And All Might would spit out blood and be like, no, I'm All Might. I got this injury. He'd explain his whole injury. No one wants to go over it. Everyone's seen it a million times. Everyone's heard it a million times. If you watch What Ifs a lot about Deku, then you've heard it a trillion and a half times. Okay. Anyways, obviously then the explosion would go off. They would notice, oh, the bottle fell, and Izuku would be like, oh, I have to go stop this. He'd probably fly over, probably bring All Might as well. He'd set All Might down to watch, and then he'd jump in to save Bakugou. Now, in this one, he's really easy. Obviously, he runs in like he's still the heroic Deku that he always is. Izuku, he's not Deku. He's not useless. All right, but that's his name. Or that's his nickname. Anyways, he would use his telekinesis very easily. It would be very easy to pull away Bakugou. Obviously, he'd then set down Bakugou so that Bakugou could catch his breath, and then he would monologue or yell something like, "Oh, you can't do this!" Like, what's it called? I'm gonna be a hero, something or other, and obviously he starts like suppressing the villain or like compacting him into a ball of just telekinesis, uses his telekinesis to pack him into like a ball to be bottled up. Now, obviously, All Might's still inspired by this. Either way, All Might is still inspired by this. And All Might doesn't have to jump in at this time. He doesn't have to overexert his power, which is what he did in the canon, which gave him even less time. Now, obviously the sludge villain is put away. Obviously, Bakugou is his ungrateful self, and he's like, whatever, Deku, I could have saved myself, I could have done it myself, and you ruined it, you ruined it, and stuff like that. Obviously, Bakugou being the all-time worst character ever. Now, something would change. I feel like Kirishima wouldn't go with his red hair and stuff like that. Kirishima would see this guy, Deku. Now he's like, oh yeah, this guy's inspiring. He jumps in to save people even though it's dangerous and stuff like that. He's not he's a true manly man, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. Basically instead of Bakugou inspiring him to go with his red hair and his old manly, like, oh, that's not manly type, you know, talk. That never happens. He's just a chill dude. With the hardening quirk. With the black hair. Yeah. All right. Anyways, now, God, I don't even know. Cause someone wanted me to give Kirishima One for All. But I'm not sure how it would put into series. All right. How about this? Let's say the sludge villain escapes again. Obviously Deku being near, he'd be like, oh yeah, I could stop it, but then I don't know, some kids who were walking by are taken by the sludge villain, you know, as hostages rather than to take their bodies. Taken as hostages. Obviously Izuku would quickly try to take them from the sludge villain's grasp. But he what's it called? He would get one out, but obviously the other is like in the sludge villain and stuff, and he wouldn't want to risk like compacting the sludge villain or anything to get him into a bottle. Now, obviously, Kirishima would use his hardening quirk, come through, and basically he would jump and like basically rip the kid out of the sludge villain's grasps. Now, a little bit after, obviously, sludge villain is taken care of, put in a bottle that could actually keep him in, taken to the cops, locked up. Now, what is it called? Kirishima and Deku would obviously, you know, bond, be like, yo, I like what you did out there, like, oh, good job and stuff, you know, like, they would become friends and stuff. Obviously on their walk home, All Might would come in. Obviously, he would first ask for Midoriya. He'd be like, yo, do you want to become the successor of my quirk, and explain the quirk. Now, Izuku would be like, no, I don't. She was like, I believe in my power, my telekinesis, and apparently I might possibly also have my father's quirk or something like that, or power. And so he's like, no, I believe I'm powerful enough. I want to be a hero with my own power rather than having some like borrowed power or something. And he was like, but this Kirishima guy, he's good, you know, like he risked himself for the sludge villain. Be right back, by the way, guys. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. Now, obviously All Might would consider this about the suggestion of Kirishima. Obviously they would walk back and go to Kirishima, obviously in his Small Might form. Obviously they would explain the injury and stuff to Kirishima. All right, and sorry. They would, you know, explain the quirk as well, or at least All Might would explain the quirk, explain the injury. Now, yeah, obviously Kirishima would be like, yeah, totally, dude, that's cool. And I obviously Deku and Kirishima being friends, I think All Might would be like, all right, I'm going to train you guys, and he would include Deku as well, be like, yeah, you, even though you have that telekinesis, you got, like, what if you can't use your quirk type of thing, even though obviously he knows Deku doesn't have a quirk. He's just saying it for the fact of keeping Deku's secret a secret. Now, anyways, obviously they would go to Dagobah Beach the next day, and this is when Izuku's quirk and stuff start to or not quirk, his father's power, Saitama's power starts to come in. He starts working out. Obviously, Saitama probably putting him on a workout as well, and having Kirishima do most of the Dagobah Beach stuff. Now, obviously, his father would probably put him on the same workout that he went through. So the 100 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and I think pull-ups or something. And then the 10-kilometer run. Or maybe it's just this sit-ups, push-ups, squats. Sit-ups, push-ups, squats. What else? What else? Okay, I'm just gonna do the 4 workouts and then the 10-kilometer run every day. Obviously, he would do that in the morning, and he would train at Dagobah Beach at night. Obviously, just lifting heavy objects. Obviously, he wouldn't help Kirishima with the process of removing the garbage. He would obviously go up and use his start using more of his telekinesis on the heavier objects, trying to do it to, like, most of the objects on the beach, trying to raise them up at least, and, like, twirl them around so that he knows he has control over it. And anyways, obviously, Kirishima would be buff by the end of the 10 months, and Izuku at the end of 10 months. If 3 years could make Saitama, 3 years could make Saitama, like, basically, like, the most powerful guy on his planet, and his planet, it's definitely more OP than on honestly, it's more OP than My Hero Academia. If you tell me it's not, where one of Saitama's punches could divide the clouds through half the earth, then I don't know, you're playing wrong, dude. That's power, dude. Anyways, so 10 months, obviously, Deku wouldn't be to his full potential, but he's OP. He's strong. I'd say at this point, his body probably a little bit underdeveloped. He's still a teenager. Plus, even though obviously he has Saitama's power, he's still a little bit weaker than what Saitama would be after 10 months. So I'd say he's still less than All Might when just raw strength, but at the same time, he does have a ton of strength when it comes to his telekinesis. Now, obviously, the telekinesis doesn't. Obviously, age comes with it, but at the same time, it also just it's mental ability. Obviously, it's emotions. It's his mental strength. So obviously, it's not, age isn't really too much of a factor. Obviously, mental age is gonna help, but Deku's smart. His mental age is beyond his actual age, much beyond. And so obviously, Deku goes into the. Sorry, the sound cut off of what a part of my last recording, so I'm gonna merge these two. But anyways, I was rambling on about his mental fortitude. Obviously, that would help him retain information. He'd probably be a lot more intelligent, and he would probably help Kirishima when it comes to the physical exam, or the God, what is it called? The entrance exams, writing portion, whatever. Anyways, obviously, let's explain Kirishima's, obviously his growth with One for All, obviously, over the 10 months. Now, Kirishima, obviously having his hardening quirk would obviously, sorry if I keep saying obviously and sounding all like stuck up and like a smart ass or something like that. But like, I don't know. It's just how I talk when I try to explain things. I'm sorry. Kirishima would have his hardening quirk. He would increase how well he uses it, and with One for All, and getting all this strength from the 10 months of training and stuff. Unlike Deku, his body would be built and more, and become more, what's the word? Basically reinforced better, so he would be able to handle a much more percentage of One for All than Deku at the end of the time scale, at the end of the 10 months. And he'd be probably eventually figure out full cowling, obviously having to put it through his whole body rather than in just one limb. Because I don't know, Midoriya, Izuku, Deku, whatever you want to call him, was pretty stupid to just use in one part. Like, I don't know how you wouldn't figure that out. Like, if it's gonna keep breaking your arm, like, come on, spread it out rather than just focus it. Come on. Anyways, so I don't know. I'd say I'm gonna highball it here. I'm gonna say he can use 25% of One for All. No, 25% if he strains himself, like seriously strains himself. Full cowling. 20% with little strain, and 15% normally with not too much strain at all. Anyways, obviously Kirishima's OP, but Deku's even more OP. Now, they would go to the entrance exam, do the written part, with Kirishima being helped up by Izuku, who's mad smart. Kirishima would get definitely a higher score than he got in canon, because I'm pretty sure Kirishima's not the smartest in the class. Like, he's pretty probably in like the bottom half of the class. But Deku would probably get like second or third when it comes to the written exam. He'd be extremely smart, much smarter than he was even in canon. And obviously the whole thing with Present Mike and Midoriya being a fanboy, little muttering in the corner, that would obviously still happen. And Ida would interrupt him and to complain about the 0-pointer, and obviously start yelling at Midoriya. Midoriya wouldn't care, obviously. He's still in his own nerdy world. But unlike in canon, he's not a mega All Might fanboy. He's really interested in superheroes in general, but he's not a fanboy. He's just like a normal guy. Like, he goes home, he'll probably play like video games and listen to music and stuff like that. He's not always fantasizing about All Might his favorite hero. Not he doesn't have all these posters and stuff. It's a regular room. He's not a fanboy room. He got posters of like, I don't know, freaking Pop Smoke on his wall or something like that. Got a freaking, I don't know, what Rick and Morty poster on his wall or something like that. Anyways, yeah, so aka he's normal. He's not Izuku, who freaking made his dorm room all about All Might. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it off there before the physical exam or whatever, the robot part. I forgot what the name of that part is. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it off before that. So just put in the comments what ship you want. Except for Uraraka, I don't like Uraraka. Show some love for maybe some Suyu or some Mina. I don't know. We like some alien or some frog girl in there. So just, yeah. But yeah, just let me know. I wanna see what, if a lot of people comment. I wanna see like what is the most liked character to make a ship with. So yeah, anyways, this has been Big Bimo What Ifs. This is the second part of What If Deku was the son of Tatsumaki and Saitama. And have a good night, have a good day, and peace.